Good afternoon from Austin, Texas. My name is Lucas Vargas, and I am here to bring you WCBN sports coverage of Michigan softball here at the Texas Invitational. The Michigan Wolverines will be playing their fifth game of the tournament as they take on the Texas Longhorns for the second time. They dropped the previous game on Friday night to the Longhorns with a final score of 3-0. Taylor Ellsworth, the catcher for the Longhorns, hit a 3-run home run that made the difference in the 3-0 victory. Both teams, the Longhorns and the Wolverines, come into their final game of the Texas Invitational at a 2-2 record throughout the tournament. The Longhorns have wins against Michigan and Virginia Tech, but they have also dropped games to Wichita State and Ohio State. The Michigan Wolverines, at 2-2 in this tournament, defeated Virginia Tech in the first game, lost to Texas in the second game on Friday. Then yesterday, Saturday, they defeated Wichita State after losing to Virginia Tech in their first game. The Virginia Tech game ended in extra innings with a final score of 0-1, and the Wichita State game was a quick one. It ended in 5 innings as Michigan was 11-0 the final score, including 6 runs in the first inning. The bats finally came alive for the Wolverines, and they got some big performances out of some key players. Madison Uden had a huge game for the Wolverines yesterday. She had a triple and a double on her way to an impressive 3 RBI and 3 hit performance. Katie Alexander is another player for the Wolverines that has really stepped her play up here in the tournament. Starting at pitcher for the Longhorns, as they will be the home team batting second at the bottom of the inning, is going to be Paige von Sprecken, the senior from Yorba Linda, California. She's a talented pitcher in her own right, and she will be taking on the Wolverines starting pitcher, the freshman Megan Bobian, who is coming into this game with an ERA of .61, a 6-2 win-loss record in 12 appearances, 7 games started, 4 complete games thrown, 45.2 innings pitched, and 50 strikeouts on the season for the freshman Bobian. Von Sprecken carries a 1.29 ERA, 3-1 win-loss record, 7 appearances, 3 games started, 2 complete games, 32.2 innings pitched, and 22 strikeouts on the year for Paige von Sprecken. She is also a capable batter, so she will find herself in the 4 spot in the Texas lineup, as it is going to be the first batter of the game for the Wolverines. That is Faith Canfield, number 25, the junior out of Garden Grove, California, stepping up to the plate for Michigan. The Wolverines are in their yellow maize jerseys with white pants and blue socks. The Longhorns wearing gray jerseys, gray pants, and burnt orange socks, along with their burnt orange visors. As we are ready to get underway here, Von Sprecken winds up and delivers pitch number 1 that Canfield will take a slap at. It'll be a deep pop-up into right field. The play is going to be made by the Longhorn right fielder, which is Kiadra Hyder. Next up to bat for the Wolverines will be number 11, Natalie Peters, the Wolverine center fielder, another junior. She comes into this at-bat batting .226, was able to make an impact yesterday against Wichita State as well. So Peters, the left-handed batter, will take ball number 1 on her first pitch of the at-bat. It's a sunny day now in Austin, Texas. There was about a 1-hour delay from the initial start time, also in part due to a delay with lightning for the earlier games of the tournament today. As Peters makes solid contact and grounds it past the second baseman into center field, she will reach base safely on a single into center field. The sun is finally out, at least for the time being. Looks like the clouds are moving away for now. The temperature is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit in Austin, Texas. And the time is about 2:33 p.m. Central Time. Tara Blanco now up to bat for the Wolverines. The capable first baseman and pitcher out of Huntington Beach, California, the senior, a mainstay in the starting lineup. Blanco, the right-handed hitter, will take her batter's stance. She will take ball number 1 on the outside of the plate. Tara Blanco comes in to this at-bat with a .267 batting average, a .425 on-base percentage. And her teammate Natalie Peters is on first base. Von Sprecken winds up, and Blanco will foul tip this ball behind home plate. There is a fair amount of Michigan fans here in attendance at Red and Charlene McCombs Field. They have stuck around all weekend for the Texas Invitational. This will be Michigan's 5th game of the tournament before they head back to Michigan tomorrow. Blanco will take ball number 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out for Tara Blanco and the Michigan Wolverines. The Michigan spring break is next week, so the players do not have to worry about classes next week. They can take their time with their travel plans. They are in no rush before they head out to California for their next tournament. As Blanco makes contact, but it is going to be a play easily made by the shortstop. That is going to be number 3 for the Longhorns, Caitlin Slack, the sophomore out of Liberty, Texas. Able to make a play on the liner. Catch it in the air. So Natalie Peters will stay at first base as well. 2 outs now for the Wolverines as number 17, Katie Alexander, steps up to the plate. The catcher has had herself a great Texas Invitational. She comes in batting .345 this at bat after only batting .200 prior to the tournament. The junior from Ypsilanti, Michigan is the primary catcher. And she will tee things off. She will check her swing, but take a strike on the first pitch of the at-bat. So 0 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs here in the top of the first inning for the Michigan Wolverines. Katie Alexander is the batter with her teammate Natalie Peters on first base. Von Sprecken winds up and will get this one bouncing into home where the catcher will handle it. So Peters unable to advance, but it'll be ball number 1. So 1-1 count now for Alexander. Katie Alexander tapping her bat to home plate and giving the ready to go sign. As she pops this one into foul territory, it'll go over the first base stands and out of the park. So strike number 2 now for Alexander. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first. Madison Uden, who had a great game yesterday against Wichita State, is on deck. We'll see if she's able to carry her hot play from the game against the Shockers over to today. And Alexander will check her swing, take a ball, a little low ball. So 2 balls and should be 2 strikes with 2 outs. Alexander winds up. She will take a low ball, but Peters will steal second. So Alexander still the batter with a full count, and Peters now on second base after the stolen base. Alexander now in her batter's stance. Will make contact into the outfield, and this ball will be to the warning track where the play is made. It's a very deep hit ball, but just not deep enough. The play is going to be made by the right fielder for the Longhorns, Kiadra Hyder, to end the inning. Alexander's pop-up looked promising, but just not enough distance for out number 3. The Longhorns up to bat next. Their lineup will feature Janae Jefferson, Kiadra Hyder, Taylor Ellsworth, Paige Von Sprecken, M.K. Tedder, Caitlin Slack, Caitlin Washington, Mallory Schottel, and Tuesday, Darren Margosia. And Megan Bovian will trot out to pitch for the Wolverines. Number 10, the freshman pitcher for the Wolverines, has had a phenomenal season. She has been the Big Ten Freshman of the Week a couple times, and she does have Pitcher of the Week honors as well. She was one of the top recruits out of high school overall in softball, and certainly at her position. The left-handed pitcher, the engineering major at Michigan. Also, avid Star Wars fan.
Number 17, Katie Alexander.
As Bobian gets a couple warm-up pitches. So this will be the first time that any game really at this tournament has been played under relatively clear skies. Looks like the sun might be here to stay for a little while at least. Really lets those maize jerseys glow for the Wolverines in the daylight. And a beautiful day for softball now as the temperature hovers around 60 degrees. Tara Blanco mans first base, Faith Canfield at second, Natalia Rodriguez the shortstop. Number 15 for the Wolverines, who is Alex Subcheck, mans third. In outfield, you have Haley Hoganrod, Natalie Peters, and Aiden Fault from left to right. As Janae Jefferson steps up to bat. So Megan Bobian will deliver her first pitch for a strike over the left side of the plate. Strike one for Jefferson. Jefferson, a talented freshman out of Humboldt, Texas, who has certainly made her impact felt for her team this season. She comes into this at-bat with a .421 average. Prior to the tournament, she was at .480. Bobian will throw a high ball on her second pitch, so 1-1 count for Jefferson. Bobian, a ball just outside of the plate. Bobian has only given up 18 hits on the year and only 8 walks with 50 strikeouts. She is got a bright future in Ann Arbor. But right now, she delivers a foul ball down the third baseline for strike number 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. No outs in the bottom of the first inning for Janae Jefferson. Bobian winding up and delivering. Will be another tight foul ball along the third baseline. So Jefferson keeps the at-bat alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Longhorns come in with a 6-7 record now after a 2-2 go of it so far here at the Texas Invitational. The Wolverines are at 7-6. And Janae Jefferson will foul again down the third baseline. Continues to keep the at-bat going. Bobian winding up and getting a foul tip again. This one will be deflected straight down into the dirt around home plate by Jefferson. Be another foul ball. Bobian takes a step back, thinking about how she wants to attack this particular pitch. And she will wind up, and it'll be another foul tip. So quite a few foul balls consecutively now for Janae Jefferson. The first batter of the game for the Longhorns. And so Megan Bobian, it's another foul tip into the net. It's at least 4 or 5 foul balls in a row now. The count is still at 2-2 with no outs in the bottom of the first inning. So Bobian get another foul ball. Again, the same spot, that third base netting. Jefferson really likes to get him going that way, but she has done a great job at stretching this at bat out at the very least. And Bobian gets a grounder to Faith Canfield at second, who will toss it to Tara Blanco for out number 1. Jefferson extended that at about as long as possible, but Wolverines able to get an out. Will be number 10, the right fielder for the Longhorns, Kiadra Hyder, stepping to the plate. As Bobian will attack batter number 2, and will get her with an opening strike on the inside of the plate. Hyder, the left-handed batter for the Longhorns, made some important plays in the top of the first inning to prevent any extra base hits for the Wolverines. It's Bobian. Bobian will toss a high ball in for her first ball of the at-bat. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bottom of the first. Kiadra Hayter, the junior out of Nacogdoches, Texas. Bats left. Makes contact for a foul ball that will be deflected down into the dirt immediately. So she will now face a 1-2 count with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Hyder comes into this at bat batting 200, which is consistent with what she was at prior to the tournament. This will be another foul tip into the dirt, so the 1-2 count remains. As one of the coaches questions whether that was a foul hit. The umpire will go and check out the ball for a quick second. Just kind of had Bobian hand it to her, flip it around once, and then hand it back. Not quite sure what is being discussed down on the field. Home plate umpire continues to walk around. They're finally headed back behind home plate as Bobian kind of relaxes for a second before stepping back to the pitching rubber. So Bobian will wind up and get Hyder swinging for a ground out to Natalia Rodriguez. Rodriguez able to field it off the ground. Tara Canfield able to extend and make the catch for out number 2. Wolverines need 1 more. Next up to bat for the Longhorns is going to be Taylor Ellsworth, who had that big 3-run shot on Friday night for the Longhorns to give them a 3-0 win. The catcher from Georgetown, Texas, just up I-35, not too far away. Bobian will get her for strike 1 on the opening pitch of the at-bat. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs for Taylor Ellsworth, the sophomore catcher for the Longhorns. Bobian will get strike number 2 on the right side of the plate. Just got it. As Ellsworth upping her batting average from .071 prior to the tournament to now 128. It's going to be a foul tip from Ellsworth. So the count maintains an 0-2 count. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Score is 0-0. 1 base runner in the top of the first for the Wolverines. Natalie Peters reached on a hit and was able to steal second, but not able to get anything out of that. As Bobian will get Ellsworth striking out, swinging. The Megan Bobian's first strikeout of the afternoon as the first inning comes to a close. So now both teams will head to their respective dugouts as we prepare for inning number 2. Megan Bobian, it'll be her 51st strikeout on the season. Absurd numbers given the fact that Michigan has played in, it is 13 games total for the Wolverines on the season. Megan Bobian has appeared in, this will be her 13th appearance in 14 games. Bobian has started, this will be her 8th start of the season, but still ridiculous numbers to consider for a freshman pitcher. The freshman that won 2 state championships, that won a state championship her senior year in high school and threw 2 perfect games as a high school pitcher. That was at St. Mary's Catholic Central. The Bobian is a freshman from Newport, Michigan. Can light it up for about 65 miles per hour on her pitches. Out for Texas to pitch, it'll be Paige Von Sprecken, the transfer from San Diego, who set a capable batter as well. She will be batting in the bottom of the second inning, but right now she is pitching. Prior to the Texas Invitational, she carried a 1.8 ERA and had 17 strikeouts on the season. Those numbers now stand at 1.29 ERA with 22 strikeouts on the year. Von Sprecken, an experienced player, and we'll get ready to go here as she will face due up for the Wolverines. Going to be number 7, Madison Uden. Huge game yesterday against Wichita State. Aiden Falk and Haley Hogenrod also due up to bat. Madison Uden upping her batting average to 300 coming into this at bat. The left-handed hitter will look across at Von Sprecken, and she will swing at the first pitch, tip it up for foul ball number 1. 0-1 count to start the second inning. It's Uden now. Will bunt and get it down. Great location, able to beat the throw for a safe call at first. Great location away from the catcher towards the third baseman who wasn't quite ready for it and just out of the way of Von Sprecken. So Uden gets the bunt down and will reach base safely to start the inning for the Wolverines. Aiden Falk, now the senior, usually the right fielder, will step up to bat. Another left-handed batter for the Wolverines. Von Sprecken allows her second hit via that bunt. She throws a strike 1 over the plate for her first pitch of the at-bat now. 0 balls, 1 strike, 0 outs. Runner on first base is Madison Uden for the Wolverines. So Falk winds up and rips hard at this pitch, but she will miss, and it'll be strike number 2 for Von Sprecken. Von Sprecken will test out the chalk and add some dirt to it. McCombs Field, all natural playing surface, dirt and grass, unlike the baseball stadium, Dish Falk Field here at UT, which is turf, as Von Sprecken delivers an outside ball. Ball number 1, 1 ball, 2 strikes for Aiden Falk. Aiden Falk rocking back and forth. She will swing hard again. Will be a foul tip that is just thrown out off the glove of the catcher. Able to recover fast enough, but Madison Uden able to advance to second base. So Ellsworth unable to handle initially. The passed ball will allow Uden to advance to second base. 1 out now for the Wolverines as Haley Hogenrod comes up to bat. Sophomore for the Wolverines. Peters thought about stealing third as Hogenrod swung and missed for strike number 1. Haley Hogenrod had herself a nice tournament. Sophomore from Zeeland, Michigan. She is now batting .278 coming into this at bat. So Hogenrod will look across at Von Sprecken, who winds up and delivers. Hogenrod grounds it past the third baseman and shortstop. Uden thought about going home, but caught herself just in time and will slide back onto the third place plate bag. Hogenrod at first base. That ball somehow able to sneak its way past 2 Longhorn infielders. And Uden now at third with Alex Subcheck up to bat for the Wolverines, number 15, their third baseman. There's 1 out here in the top of the second inning. As Subcheck will take her first pitch for a high ball, number 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Top of the second inning. Sunny weather finally here in Austin, Texas. Something that these Wolverine players surely expected when they saw the Texas Invitational on the schedule initially, but have not had the opportunity to get until now. Hogan and Subcheck will fly this one deep into foul territory along the first baseline. So she will pick up her bat and head back to the batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike now in the at-bat for Alex Subchek. Not much wind here. It's about 60 degrees. Von Sprecken, the pitcher for the Longhorns, winds up and delivers an outside ball, number 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, top of the second inning. It is going to be Subcheck taking a hit by pitch on the left shoulder from Von Sprecken, so she will take first base as the Wolverines now load the bases with their 9th batter in the order, Natalia Rodriguez, now up to bat. Rodriguez, the left-handed batter, comes into this at-bat, batting .238. So Rodriguez is the freshman from Claremont, Florida, who has started a fair number of games at shortstop for the Wolverines as the Texas Longhorn infield comes together for a quick meeting. Wolverines looking to add some early runs if possible. They have had this situation before, especially back on Friday night against the Longhorns. They had several opportunities with runners on base, runners in scoring position, and the bases loaded to bring some runs in, but failed to capitalize on any of those opportunities. Brooke Bollinger, who pitched for the Longhorns on Friday night, did a great job at navigating those jams and leading her team to victory. Wolverines will look to adjust for some of those inabilities to bring runners home as the Longhorns initially break up that infield meeting and they come back together. This time a coach trots out there. The Longhorns are coached by Connie Clark and the Wolverines are coached by Carol Hutchins. Coach Hutchins is, of course, one of the most legendary pitchers in the game, coaches in the game, rather. As some of the Wolverines base runners will come talk to some coaches and batters on what their plan of attack will be. Again, it is going to be Madison Uden, Haley Hogenrod, and Alex Subcheck manning bases 3, 2, and 1 respectively, with Natalia Rodriguez up to bat once these meetings on the field come to an end. Looks like they are about ready to get back to playing some softball here as Paige Von Sprecken steps to the back of the circle. She picks up the chalk, rubs her hand in the dirt, and she will toe the pitching rubber. So Von Sprecken will go outside for ball number 1. This is going to be Rodriguez in the batter's stance, awaiting the pitch from Von Sprecken. It comes around for another high ball, so 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out for, this is actually going to be Amanda Vargas into bat rather than Rodriguez. So Amanda Vargas is pinch hitting right now, number 12 for the Wolverines. Vargas will foul tip this along the first base line for the first strike of the at-bat. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out for the Wolverines. The bases are loaded, and Vargas is looking to bring somebody in with only 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Amanda Vargas foul tips this again into the net along the first base line. So her second strike now of the at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the top of the second inning. So Amanda Vargas We'll get a warm-up swing in, step into the batter's box, and take the pitch that will go outside to fill up the count. 3-2 now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Vargas looks over to Coach Hutchins for a little bit of coaching, as she now steps back into the batter's box, ready for this full count with 1 out. The bases are loaded for the Wolverines. The runners are ready to go. As Vargas takes the pitch and makes contact, it'll go foul into the bullpen along the first base line, so the count maintains a 3-2 hold. As Vargas patiently waits. Von Sprecken's going to wipe her hand in the dirt, get that grip on the ball, toss it into her glove once, and toe the pitching rubber. The right-handed pitcher will wind up and deliver a tight ball to walk in a run. And that will be Madison Uden coming around to score the first run of the game and give the Wolverines a 1-0 lead. So now Amanda Vargas on first base. She will sub out for Rodriguez to come back in to run. It's going to be Alex Subcheck on second and Haley Hogenrod on third as the lineup resets for the Wolverines. Faith Canfield, the junior who was named to USA Softball's Top 50 Player of the Year watch list, back up to bat for the Wolverines. Their second at-bat of the game. Canfield comes in, batting .289 on the year. She has 6 runs, 2 doubles, and 6 RBIs so far in the season. As Canfield will take a strike on the first pitch over the right side of the plate. 0 balls, 1 strike, 1 out in the top of the second inning. Wolverines walked in a run on the previous at-bat to take a 1-0 lead. They have 3 hits on Von Sprecken so far, along with a hit by pitch and a walk. Canfield will check her swing, but take a strike over the plate. 0 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Coach Hutchins will come and argue that call a little bit. She wasn't quite happy with the location. These home plate umpires had to move around quite a bit to talk to a couple players and coaches now, but she will retake her spot behind home plate. Her teammates encourage her. Faith Canfield back in the batter's box, looking to make an impact in the batting column. And she does make contact, but it will head foul, get into the bullpen. Coach Hutchins offers some encouragement as well, as Canfield now has a 0 balls, 2 strike count with just 1 out in the top of the second. The bases are loaded, so Canfield looking to secure a base hit or a sacrifice fly to bring at least 1 run home. She cannot afford a ground out in the infield to allow for a play at home. And Canfield does get a ground out, but it is to the second baseman, which will lead to a tag out for the runner at first. A run does score, though. The Wolverines tack on their second run of the game. That is going to be Haley Hogenrod coming in to score off the ground out to second. That is Janae Jefferson tagging out Natalie Peters at second base. Canfield will take first base, and it is going to be Alex Subcheck on third, as number 11 for the Wolverines, Natalie Peters, is now up to bat for the Wolverines. Peters has 1 RBI on the season. She will look to add to that total with runners on each of the hot corners for the Wolverines. Von Sprecken will wind up and deliver strike 1 over the left side of the plate. Canfield able to steal second. So now Canfield is at second, and Subcheck is on third with Peters in the batter's box, batting left against a right-handed pitcher for the Longhorns, Paige Von Sprecken. Von Sprecken delivers the pitch, but it goes just over the glove of number 3 for the Longhorns. That is going to be Kaylin Slack, unable to make the play. And 2 runs will score now for the Wolverines as they now take a 4-0 advantage. That is going to be a double for Natalie Peters, a 2 RBI double as Alex Subcheck and Faith Canfield come around third to score runs. So a 4-0 lead for the Michigan Wolverines over the Texas Longhorns. Nightmare inning for the Longhorns, giving up 4 runs. And now it is Tara Blanco up to bat with her teammate Natalie Peters on second. Tara Blanco will take a strike over the right side of the plate on her first pitch. So 0 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And a 4-0 lead for the Wolverines on 4 hits. Blanco will take another strike on the inside of the plate. Don't think Hutchins liked that call either. Very tight inside pitch. She says, quote, quote, "That's horrible," which it may have been, but it is a call nonetheless. As Blanco retakes the box, she will dodge this one again, but this one will be called as a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 4-0 lead for the Wolverines in the top of the second inning. Von Sprecken looking to get out of this inning without any more damage. Natalie Peters is the runner on second for the Wolverines. Blanco gets ready to bat. She will take a ball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the second inning. Michigan Wolverines lead the Texas Longhorns by a score of 4-0. Von Sprecken will test out the chalk and the dirt again. Toe up the pitching rubber. Deliver a pitch that goes wide and high again. So a full count is loaded up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tara Blanco, the batter. Blanco comes in to this at bat, batting .258. Tara Blanco has 3 RBIs on the season so far. Blanco hits this one into foul territory along the first base line. So no change to the pitch count. Von Sprecken now will actually come down to talk to her catcher, Taylor Ellsworth. So the Wolverines have now put up 15 runs in their last 7 innings so far, which is a lot more than they had done in the first 3 games of the tournament. Only 2 runs combined in the first 3 games of this Texas Invitational. Something has clicked and they have found some life in their bats. As Tara Blanco gets ready to go, full count. She makes contact again, fouls it down over the cameraman along the first base line. Natalie Peters on second base and Tara Blanco in the batter's box. Blanco will warm up swing once, enter her batting stance, and take the pitch from Von Sprecken, which is tight along the plate. Tara Blanco will get the walk, ball number 4. So now the Wolverines man first and second base. Another base runner for the Wolverines. Next up to bat is going to be Katie Alexander, who comes in batting .333. Had a very nice Texas Invitational so far. Almost got a home run. It was close. Forced Kiadra Hyder to step back against the wall to make an out to end the first inning. But right now, Alexander will step to the batter's box, looking to bring some runs home. She takes an inside ball on her first pitch. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, 4 runs for the Wolverines so far in this top of the second inning. Alexander has 7 RBIs on the year. She is looking to add to that total. And she grounds it right to the shortstop, Caitlin Slack, who was unable to handle a hit earlier. Slack does collect this ball and is able to toss it to her first base teammate, Mallory Schottel. And that will end the inning, out number 3. But the Wolverines are able to add on 4 runs as we head into the bottom of the second inning. The Longhorns have their work cut out for them, and it will not be easy against star Wolverine pitcher Megan Bobian. So each team will take the dirt for the bottom of the second inning. Megan Bobian getting her warm-up pitches in. She'll come out and warm up with backup catcher, who is number 5, Abby Scavars, before Alexander steps behind plate. Good production out of the lineup for the top of the second inning. The Wolverines able to add 4 runs. Great work all around for the Wolverines, led by Madison Uden, who in her last 2 games has really picked up her play, reaching base in this game and coming around for a run. Megan Bobian in that first inning saw 3 batters and retired all 3 of them. She finished the inning with 1 strikeout, and the Wolverine infield will come together for a quick meeting. Bobian wearing a maize bow tie this afternoon, along with her usual white headband, her trademark look. As the left-handed pitcher gets ready to go, she will look across at Longhorn pitcher Paige Von Sprecken in this at-bat. It's going to be Paige Von Sprecken, who is a good batter in her own right. Von Sprecken batting .278 on the year, 10 hits total, and 36 at-bats, 5 runs, 5 doubles also for Von Sprecken, the senior, who takes a strike on the first pitch. Von Sprecken, no batting gloves for her. She goes barehanded. She will dodge this pitch a little bit, and it'll be ball number 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. So Megan Bobian winds up, and Von Sprecken will swing at this one, and it'll take 1 hop to third base where Alex Subcheck is standing, where she will rifle it over to Tara Blanco at first for out number 1 of the inning. MK Tedder now up to bat. The freshman from Hoover, Alabama, had a good game Friday night against the Wolverines as well, making some nice plays defensively. Tedder, number 22, will make contact with her first pitch, and Blanco will take a couple steps to run underneath it, the short pop-up into the infield. So 1 pitch, another out. 2 outs now in the bottom of the second inning, as it's going to be number 3, Kaylin Slack, stepping up for the Longhorns. Kaylin Slack, the sophomore from Liberty, Texas. Slack comes into this at-bat, batting .233. She will foul her first pitch down the first base line for strike number 1. Kaylin Slack has 7 hits and 30 at-bats on the year prior to, with 5 RBIs. She has a .314 on-base percentage prior to this game. She will wind up and check her swing, taking ball number 1, 1 ball, 1 strike for Kaylin Slack. As Bobian will wind up and deliver another high ball almost over the head of the catcher, Katie Alexander. So there is 2 balls now, 1 strike, and 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Wolverines lead at 4-0. Bobian able to get the inside of the plate on this pitch for strike number 2 on Slack, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some light clouds starting to approach the area once again after there were clear skies temporarily. Almost strike number 3, but just outside the plate, so it'll be ball number 3 instead. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs with Kaylin Slack in the batter's box for the Longhorns. It's Megan Bobian will get Slack to make contact and easily underhand it to her teammate Tara Blanco at first for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. as Bobian and the Wolverines head back to their dugout. With a 4-0 lead, the Bats will come back out and look to do some more damage. It's looking like a similar game in some capacity to Wichita State yesterday, where the Wolverines dominated on offense and on defense. Bobian started that Wichita State game yesterday, but after the Wolverines collected a sizable lead, she was able to call it a day early, not need to tire out her arm any more than necessary. So Wolverines won that game in the Mercy rule of college softball, leading by more than 8 runs after 5. The game actually ended in 4.5 innings. The Wolverines bat in the bottom of the 5th, but right now they lead 4-0, so it'll take at least 4 more runs to get to that point. And due up for the Wolverines, it is going to be number 7, Madison Uden, number 2, Aiden Falk, and number 32, Haley Hogenrod. So Madison Uden, who had great success the last 2 days, particularly the last 2 games now, will get to start things off against Paige von Sprecken. Uden is the sophomore from Glendale, Arizona. Uden is the designated player this afternoon for the Wolverines. So showing her value as a hitter, upping her average to 333. Like we mentioned, she is 1 for 1 reaching base in that 2nd inning, and she was able to come around and score as well. So she will look to start things off strong for the Wolverines. As the top of the 3rd inning is ready to get underway here in Austin, Texas. Each team's final game of the Texas Invitational. Great tournament put on by the Texas Longhorns here in beautiful Austin, Texas. Where Uden will take a opening pitch for strike 1 over the plate. Uden with cross at von Sprecken, who will skid this one into home. So ball number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs in the top of the 3rd. Uden in the batter's box, and she will make contact with this pitch. It'll take 1 bounce before hopping foul towards the Wolverine dugout. Madison Uden will wind back up. Von Sprecken will do the same and deliver. Uden will foul this one back towards the Texas dugout. So back-to-back foul balls. It'll be 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Madison Uden. Uden showing bunt initially, but will drop back into a batter's stance and will pop this one up into mid-left field, where number 25 for the Longhorns, that is Kaylin Washington, makes the out. So out number 1 for the Wolverines. Aiden Falk now up to bat, senior. Aiden Falk, also a left-handed batter, much like Uden. Falk was able to score a run in that 2nd inning as well. She will step back up and look to make an impact. Right now, she is batting .250 coming into this at bat. As now Falk has a 2-0 count with 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. So Aiden Falk prepared to bat. she will rip this one into the foul ball territory, into the net over the Texas dugout. And the lefty will step back up. No runners on for the Wolverines. Bases are empty. 1 out in the 2-1 count for Falk. She will make contact with this pitch, and it will drop over Slack's head into left field. Falk will reach base.
Number 32, Haley Hogan.
So Aiden Falk now at first base. With Haley Hoganrod up to bat. Hoganrod reached base in that second inning and came around to score. And Hoganrod will take the opening pitch for a strike 1. Hoganrod batting .316 now, coming to this at bat, up from her average of .250 prior to the Texas Invitational. And Hoganrod will foul this one. She swung hard, but the ball got the top of the bat and headed behind home plate for another foul ball. So 0 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out for the Wolverines here in the top of the third inning. This will be a high ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Hoganrod. Aiden Falk on first base. She reached base for the first time today on her last at-bat. Hoganrod has already scored a run this afternoon. And Hoganrod will take ball number 2. Hoganrod had scored on a Faith Canfield RBI. And Hoganrod able to pop this pitch up, but the first baseman able to collect the fly ball easily. That is going to be Mallory Schottel making the easy play at first base. So Aiden Falk will remain at first, while Alex Subcheck steps into the batter's box, the third baseman for the Wolverines, batting .192 headed into the at bat. She was hit by a pitch in the second inning. And this pitch will go high for ball number 1 for Subcheck. So Subcheck with 2 outs, 1 ball, no strikes. They take ball number 2 low and away. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs for Alex Subcheck and the Michigan Wolverines as Aiden Falk mans first base. Wolverines lead this game 4-0 over the Texas Longhorns here at McCombs Field. And Subcheck will check her swing and foul tip it. Subcheck now at 2 balls and 1 strike. Von Sprecken done a better job at limiting the base runners so far in this inning. Delivers a pitch inside of the plate for another strike. So able to get that inside corner for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. As Alex Subcheck steps into her stance and rips this foul ball up into the press box. So with 2 balls and 2 strikes, Alex Subcheck will step back into the box. Her teammate, Aiden Falk, is at first. Subcheck is the junior from Bloomfield, Michigan, consistent starter. And she rips this fly ball deep into center field. The play is made. It's going to be number 24 for the Longhorns, stepping underneath it for out number 3. And with that, the Longhorns will finish the top of the 3rd without giving up any runs. They allow a hit to Aiden Falk. The score holds at 4-0. Megan Bobian and the Wolverines will trot back out and prepare for the bottom of the 3rd. So Bobian done a great job so far in this game, retiring the 6 batters that she has faced, including 1 strikeout on the afternoon so far. A good crowd here at Brett and Charlene McCombs. Not full, but definitely not empty like some of the other games this tournament. Lots of Wolverines fans were able to travel down to Austin, Texas to give their team a decent amount of support as the Wolverines come together for a quick meeting. The infield, Wolverines and the Longhorns, both in this game, looking to advance to 3-2 at the Texas Invitational. The Longhorns certainly would like to avoid a losing record at their own tournament, while the Wolverines would like to maintain their winning record overall. They sit at 7-6 right now on the season and would love to add another win to that record before they head out to California for their next tournament. Up to bat for the Longhorns is going to be Caitlin Washington, the sophomore from Humboldt, Texas. She comes into this at bat, batting .314 on the year, 11 of 35 with 4 runs scored, 1 RBI, and no walks. So Washington, the left-handed batter. So Bobian will wind up, and this ball will bounce right over her head, but Canfield able to get underneath the bounce and collect it before tossing it to Tara Blanco at first base for out number 1 on the opening pitch of the bottom of the 3rd inning. So next up bat for the Longhorns is going to be number 11, Mallory Schottel. Schottel, the sophomore from Salado, Texas. As Schottel will take her batter stance, Bobian will wind up and get her swinging for strike number 1. So Schottel with a hard swing, no contact made. And she will face a 0-1 count with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Her first at-bat of the game. Schottel comes in batting .286. Will take a high ball this pitch, so 1-1 count. Megan Bobian winding up, getting a strike 2 on the right side of the plate. A little low in the zone, but the ump will give it the strike 2 call. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. And Schottel will strike out swinging on this pitch. Bobian able to get it with a changeup, a off-speed pitch that Schottel swings early on, and she will head back to the dugout. Out number 2. Bobian collects her 2nd strikeout of the afternoon. Dar Margoshin now up to bat for the Longhorns. She is the sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas. She will collect ball number 1 on her first pitch of the at-bat, first at-bat of the game for her. Tuesday, Dar Margoshin, the left-handed batter, will make contact. Collected by Rodriguez, but the throw is a tough one Margoshin is fast and beats the low throw to Blanco. So Margoshin is safe at first, being the first base runner for the Longhorns of the game, as number 2, Janae Jefferson, will step up to bat now for the Longhorns. The left-handed batter, the freshman from Humboldt, Texas. Jefferson comes in batting .410 on the year. She has 5 doubles, 1 triple, and 8 RBIs on the year. This is a low ball for Bobian. Margoshin will stay at first base. Dawn Margoshin, a quick player. She has quite a few steals to her name on the year. Bobian will deliver ball number 2 to Janae Jefferson. Katie Alexander will head out to talk to Bobian for a quick second. So Bobian winding up and getting a strike 1 over the plate. Alexander pops up ready to throw a potential pickoff attempt, but Dar Margoshin will hold at first. So 2-1 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jefferson will rip this one into the netting along the 3rd baseline. A little inside of the plate, but Janae Jefferson makes contact anyways. Ball heads into the net. So Megan Bobian now facing a 2-2 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Alexander tries to frame that pitch for strike 3, unsuccessful in her attempt. It'll be a full count now for Janae Jefferson at 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the inning. A runner on first for the Longhorns. Wolverines lead this game 4-0. Wolverines have 5 hits, and the Longhorns have 1 in this game so far. And on the ground out to Faith Canfield, Canfield steps on the bag at second and will wrap up the bottom of the 3rd inning. We head into the 4th inning with your score at 4-0, with the Michigan Wolverines leading this ball game. Wolverines will have Natalia Rodriguez up to bat and then restart the order with Faith Canfield and Natalie Peters as well. Paige Von Sprecken will try it out for her 4th inning of work. Von Sprecken, the pitcher for the Longhorns, the senior from Yorba Linda, California, the transfer from San Diego. Her stats read 3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, a strikeout. She's faced 17 batters so far, and a pitch count of 69 so far in this ball game. A couple more light clouds in the area, but looks like they will not be doing any damage as some clear sky appears to be behind them. Much nicer weather here on a Sunday afternoon in Austin, Texas at the Texas Invitational. 5 teams total at this tournament: the Longhorns, the Wolverines, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Wichita State Shockers, and the Virginia Tech Hokies, all collected here in Austin to play some softball over the weekend. The Wolverines will fly back to Ann Arbor tomorrow, where they have spring break, so no classes to worry about initially. They'll get a couple days of practice in before their next tournament. They will head over to California, Fullerton, California, where they will take on Loyola Marymount, Charlotte, Baylor, Louisiana Lafayette, and Cal Poly on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday slate of games. The week after that, they will head to FAU, Boca Raton, Florida for the FAU tournament. Stony Brook, Florida Atlantic, Ball State, Pittsburgh, and Florida A&M all on the docket for that tournament. We get underway here in the top of the 4th inning. Natalia Rodriguez will take the batter's box for the Michigan Wolverines. Wolverines hold a 4-0 lead headed into the 4th inning. All 4 of those runs coming in the top of the second as Rodriguez takes ball number 1 high. So Rodriguez in her stance. Von Sprecken will toe the rubber and wind up, deliver. This one is just in the zone over the plate for strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rodriguez fouls this one off the bottom of her bat. Will head into the dirt immediately and bounce back. MK Tedder scooted in a little bit, the third baseman for the Longhorns. Carol Hutchins will offer some coaching to her player, Rodriguez, as she resets her stance. Von Sprecken winds up and gets a ball that is just a little bit high. 2 balls, 2 strikes now, facing Natalia Rodriguez. Von Sprecken winding up, and she is able to reflex fast enough to get the grounder off the dirt and toss it to Mallory Shottle at first base for out number 1 of the inning. Next up to bat is going to be Faith Canfield for the 3rd at-bat of the game so far. Canfield does have an RBI and a run so far on this game. Canfield hops this one to the shortstop, unable to beat the throw from Caitlin Slack to Mallory Shuttle for out number 2. The Wolverines still 2 quick outs. The Longhorns collect. They will have 1 out to go here in the top of the 4th as Natalie Peters, the left-handed batter for the Wolverines, back into the box. She is 2 for 2 today with 2 RBIs. Comes into this at-bat at 273. The .333 on-base percentage. Peters will take strike 1 on pitch number 1 of the at-bat. So 0 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning for the Michigan Wolverines. They lead by a score of 4-0. This will be a high ball, so 1 ball, 1 strike now for Peters. Peters will hit this one right to Caitlin Slack at shortstop, and she is able to catch it before it hits the dirt for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for the Longhorns. No runners on base. As we head into the bottom of the 4th inning, Wolverines lead it 4-0. Back for the bottom of the 4th, it is going to be up to bat for the Longhorns. Kiadra Hyder, Taylor Ellsworth, and Paige Von Sprecken all due up. Hyder has an average of 192, Ellsworth at 125, and Von Sprecken at 270, all headed into their respective at-bats. So far, it has been 4 runs all in the top of the 2nd inning for the Michigan Wolverines as they lead things 4-0 off of 5 hits total in the game. Each team gets to warm up, headed into the bottom of the 4th. The Wolverines will come together for a quick infield meeting, wearing their all-maize jerseys with blue visors and white pants with the Michigan blue socks as well. The girls get ready to go, as does Hyder. The right fielder for the Longhorns will bat left-handed.
Starting off the bottom of the fourth, fielder number 10, J.A. Hyder.
So Hyder into the batter's box. They're ready to get things underway here in Austin, Texas for the bottom of the fourth inning. A bunt attempt goes sky high. She pops this one up, is unable to get the bunt down, and Subcheck gets under it easily for out number one on the opening pitch of the at-bat. Megan Bobian takes a tumble, trying to get the ball back. She will laugh it off and stand up, ready to take on the Texas catcher, Taylor Ellsworth, a sophomore out of Georgetown, Texas. Had that big 3-run home run into left field on Friday night. She will take strike one over the right side of the plate this time. Ellsworth has 2 home runs on the year. That one against Michigan was her second. She takes a high ball this pitch for 1 ball, 1 strike count with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Megan Bobian toes the rubber, winds up, and gets a check swing that is called for a low ball, so Ellsworth able to escape that check swing. 2 balls, 1 strike now for Ellsworth. As she fouls this pitch back, it'll hit the press box window. And so now she faces a 2-2 count for herself with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth inning. It's about 3:41 Central Time here in Austin, Texas, about 62 degrees Fahrenheit. A low ball comes in to fill up the count, 3-2. Megan Bobian, Michigan pitcher, winding up and getting Ellsworth to ground this one to Faith Canfield, who throws it to Tara Blanco for out number 2 of the bottom of the fourth inning. Up to bat now for the Longhorns is going to be Paige Von Sprecken. Von Sprecken now holds a 270 batting average. She is 0 for 1 today. Von Sprecken, the Longhorn batter with 2 outs. She will foul this one down off of the dirt, bounced off her leg as well. So strike number 1, the at-bat for Von Sprecken. And Von Sprecken will swing hard at this pitch. Bobian able to get her to miss for strike number 2. Bobian showing some of her elusive stuff on that pitch. 0 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs now. An outside ball for Von Sprecken. Ball number 1, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases are empty for Von Sprecken right now. And Von Sprecken will take another outside ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Not chasing those outside pitches. She will foul tip this one back behind home plate. Von Sprecken, the Texas pitcher as well, the senior from Yorba Linda, California. The right-handed batter, also the right-handed pitcher. Bobian gets her swinging and missing to end the inning. Strikeout number 3 for Megan Bobian, as Von Sprecken will trot back to the dugout to put on her pitcher's mask, and she will head out to pitch in the top of the 5th inning now. The eyes of Texas now play over the speakers here at Red and Charlene McCombs Field. nationally known fight song for the Longhorns. The Wolverines also come together. Due up to bat for the Wolverines is going to be Tara Blanco, Katie Alexander, and Madison Uden. Tara Blanco 0 for 1 today with a walk. She will head out for her third at-bat of the game. Tara Blanco pitched some yesterday as well. She also pitched a little bit on Friday night against the Longhorns in relief of Sarah Schaefer. Blanco got some action yesterday against Virginia Tech. Bobian took over partly through that in the 6th inning in the loss to the Hokies in extras. And then Bobian pitched most of the way against Wichita State before Sarah Schaefer took over in relief in a lopsided scoring game, 11-0 at one point to end the game. Here it is a 4-0 score. The Michigan Wolverines lead the Texas Longhorns in each team's final game of the Texas Invitational. Next up for the Longhorns after this series is going to be a home game on Wednesday night against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Then they will get the Arizona series. They will get Arizona on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then next Wednesday, March 7th, they will get a road trip to UT San Antonio. A couple of the future games for the Longhorns coming up. Right now it is Tara Blanco, the Wolverine batter, the senior from California, Huntington Beach, California. She will take ball 1 on the opening pitch. Von Sprecken delivers a pitch, and this will be a deep fly ball for Blanco. But Hyder is able to collect it in right field. Another athletic catch by the right fielder to prevent an extra base hit. Wolverines have had a couple deep shots to right field that have gone out to the warning track, but Hyder has been there every time to make the play. So out number 1 in the top of the 5th inning as Katie Alexander, the Wolverine catcher, steps into the batter's box, taps her bat to home plate, and is ready to go in her batter's stance. She will swing hard at Von Sprecken's first pitch and miss, so strike number 1. Katie Alexander, who is batting .323 coming into the set bat, makes solid contact to Caitlin Slack, the shortstop, who gets a throw just in time for out number 2 here in the top of the 5th. It's going to be Madison Uden next up to bat, the left-handed batter for the Wolverines.
Designated player number 7, Madison Uden.
Madison Uden, the sophomore from Glendale, Arizona, had herself a nice stretch recently. She is 1 of 2 this afternoon with 1 run scored. Uden right to Von Sprecken, who catches it right before it hits the dirt, her glove between the dirt and the ball for a quick out number 3 as we head into the bottom of the 5th. The score holds at 4-0 Michigan lead. So the Longhorns, a quick team meeting before they get ready to attack offensively. Due up for the Longhorns is going to be MK Tedder, Caitlin Slack, and Caitlin Washington. So a pair of Caitlins in there. Megan Bobian, still a pitcher for Michigan. She is only at 56 pitches as she enters 5th inning. Bobian does a great job at being efficient. She has faced 13 batters so far, only allowing 1 hit and no walks.
Information on Texas Softball, but stay connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you use the hashtag Texas Softball all season long.
All the Wolverines fielders get a couple warm-up throws and catches in as the break between the 5th inning takes place. MK Tedder will be the batter for Texas. She comes into this at bat at 214 average. She went 0 of 1 today. The freshman from Hoover, Alabama will look to get something going for the Longhorns. Only one base runner all afternoon. And so MK Tedder will take the batter's box. Megan Bobian will take the pitching rubber. Waiting for the all clear from the Longhorn Network. Media break. Players are waiting patiently, as are we, and they finally get the all go. So Bobian will step to the pitching rubber and get ready to go. She will wind up and deliver a ball just a little high of the zone. 1 ball, no strikes for MK Tedder. Bobian gets the strike this time over the right side of the plate. Bobian an inside pitch for ball number 2 on Tedder, so 2-1 count. No runners on. Longhorns trail the Wolverines 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. All 4 runs coming in the top of the 2nd. A check swing is caught just in time. Tedder will get ball number 3, so a 3-1 count. Tara Blanco with some pitching experience herself, and catcher Katie Alexander will head in to talk to Bobian for a quick second. Tara Blanco, lots of advice that she can offer, having pitching experience, and as well as just being a senior, a lot of softball that she has come across during her career. So Bobian back to the rubber, winds up and delivers. Tedder will foul this off the net behind home plate, so a full count now for Bobian to work with. Bobian winding up, and the inside of the plate is not caught, so Tedder will get the walk. The opening batter of the bottom of the 5th will reach base off a walk, ball 4. Bobian's first walk of the game. It's the 2nd base runner she has allowed. Kaylin Slack now up to bat. So Slack, number 3, the shortstop, had a lot of action today on defense. She is the sophomore from Liberty, Texas. She comes into this at-bat at 226, 0 for 1 today. Slack, the shortstop, steps into the box, the right-handed hitter. She will take ball number 1 outside of the plate. Bobian. Megan Bobian winding up, getting Slack to foul this pitch behind the head of the catcher. So 1-1 count now. No outs. Runner on first is MK Tedder. And Bobian. A check swing, very close call, is given a ball. So Katie Alexander believed that could have been a strike. Asked for the first base umpire's opinion. He signals no swing as well. So 2-1 count now. Slack hard hits this one to right field. And Tedder will hold up at second. So back-to-back base runners now for the Longhorns as MK Tedder mans second and Caitlin Slack mans first. Next up to bat for the Longhorns is Caitlin Washington. The infield will come in to have a quick meeting along with one coach for the Wolverines. The Longhorns showing their first sign of life offensively so far this inning in the bottom of the fifth, having a runner on first and a runner on second with no outs. They will have at least Caitlin Washington and Tuesday Darmagoshian to finish their trip through the lineup, and then Janae Jefferson also likely up to bat, barring a double play. So the Wolverine meeting continues. They offer some encouragement to one another. The girls will head back to their respective positions on the infield. Blanco, the last one to leave, offering a word of advice to the freshman. As Kaylin Washington, sophomore from Humboldt, Texas, stands tall in the batter's box, the left-handed hitter. Bobian will look to attack. She'll go for ball one on the inside of the plate. Not getting some of those close calls this inning. This will be a play made by Bobian, the ground out from Washington. Bobian able to throw it to Tara Blanco at first base for out number one. The runners on first and second do advance, so Slack now mans third and Tedder now Slack mans second and Tedder mans third. It's going to be a pinch hitter actually in for the 9 spot, Sierra Schick into bat. The junior right-handed hitter from Rancho Cucamonga, California, transferred from Arizona as well. Sierra Schick comes in batting .222. Her first action of the afternoon, as the Wolverines will talk it over again inside the circle.
Number 00, Sierra Schick.
So number 0 for the Longhorns, up to bat. She will take a low ball into the dirt for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Longhorns man second and third base with base runners. Wolverines hold a 4-0 advantage at the moment, but that lead is in risk. Schick will foul this into the netting behind home plate. Now a 1-1 count. And Schick will pop this into foul territory for strike number 2. Megan Bobian, the young freshman pitcher, has an opportunity to test herself in a stressful situation with 2 Longhorn runners in scoring position. Right now, Sierra Schick, the Longhorn batter, with a 1-2 count with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Bobian gets her swinging and missing for a strikeout. That's a huge play for her. Strikeout number 4 of the afternoon for Megan Bobian. And that will give her some flexibility here with 2 outs now in the inning. Tuesday Darmagoshian now up to bat for the Longhorns. Schick was batting at the 8th spot, actually, for the first baseman, Mallory Shuttle, and Margoshian will ground out to the shortstop, Natalia Rodriguez, who rifles it across the diamond to Tara Blanco for out number 3. Wolverines get out of the inning clean. No runs given up. Great job by the team to come together and not allow any runs in They maintain their 4-0 lead as we head into the top of the 6th inning. 2 innings of softball to play here in Austin, Texas. The sun is out after this game was delayed by about an hour. Due up for the Wolverines is going to be Aiden Falk, the right fielder, Haley Hoganrod, the left fielder, and Alex Subcheck, the third baseman. Still in to pitch for the Longhorns is Paige Von Sprecken. Von Sprecken gave up those 4 runs in the 2nd inning. She has 1 strikeout on the afternoon. She has faced 23 batters, getting up 5 hits and 2 walks. The pitch count stands at 83 headed into the 6th inning. Said 2 innings to go. So the top of the 6th inning will be underway shortly with Aiden Falk up to bat, the senior from Rochester, New York. Falk came into this game batting .257, 9 from 35 on the year with 5 runs, 2 doubles, and 10 RBIs. She now comes into this at bat at .270. And Falk will get some warm-up swings in before stepping into the batter's box. Von Sprecken toasts the pitching rubber, and the top of the 6th is underway as Von Sprecken winds up and delivers a strike to open things up here in the 6th inning. So Falk has 0 balls and 1 strike. As Von Sprecken winds up and delivers, Falk lines this into deep center field where Darmar Goshen makes a diving catch. So out number 1 made on the fly out to center field by Aiden Falk. Haley Hoganrod up to bat next for the Wolverines, the left fielder today. Hoganrod comes into this at bat batting .300. She is 1 of 2 today with 1 run scored. And Haley Hoganrod will hit this one hard into right field. Hyder is right underneath it, so out number 2 of the inning off the first pitch of Hoganrod's at bat. And third up to bat for the top of the 6th inning for the Wolverines is Alex Subcheck. Subcheck is 0 of 1 today with 1 run scored. She was hit by a pitch earlier in the game. She takes a strike on the opening pitch. And Subcheck will hit a line drive down along the first base line. It'll go just foul. So that'll be strike number 2. 0 balls and 2 strikes for Subcheck. Subcheck is the junior from Bloomfield, Michigan. She has a big arm at third base. Subcheck in her batter's stance. Von Sprecken the pitch. A high ball. 2 balls. Rather, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. As Subcheck in her stance will take another ball, so 2 balls and 2 strikes now. So Subcheck back to work in the batter's box, takes ball 3, 3 balls in a row, so a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes for Subcheck. Von Sprecken facing a full count, 2 outs in the inning. And just on the inside of the plate, barely got that corner. It's going to be a strikeout to end the inning. Von Sprecken gets tight along the inside of the plate. Very close call. Subcheck thought she had a walk, but it'll be a strikeout instead. As we head into the bottom of the 6th inning, Wolverines still lead this game 4-0 on what is finally a sunny, clear day in Austin, Texas. It took a while to get it, but after all weekend, we finally have some nice softball weather here in the Lone Star State. The Texas and American flags fly out by the scoreboard. The Wolverines will enjoy the sunshine and 65-degree weather before they head back to Ann Arbor tomorrow. They are looking to finish the Texas Invitational with a 3-2 record. Currently sit at 2-2 with wins over Virginia Tech and Wichita State and losses to Texas on Friday night and to Virginia Tech yesterday. Currently lead this game 4-0. The Longhorns also at 2-2 in their own tournament with wins against Michigan and Virginia Tech and losses to Ohio State and Wichita State. Longhorns taking on Michigan for the 2nd time in this tournament. Due up for the Longhorns is number 2, Janae Jefferson, number 10, Kiadra Hyder, and number 17, Taylor Ellsworth. Megan Bobian is back out. Her pitch count stands at 73. Currently, the left-handed pitcher from Newport, Michigan, graduate of St. Mary's Catholic Central High School. They're waiting again on the all clear from the Longhorn Network media crew. And they get the all clear, so the bottom of the 6th inning is underway here in Austin, Texas. It's about 4:06 Central Time. Bobian will start the inning off with a strike 1 to Janae Jefferson over the right side of the plate. So Megan Bobian gets a high ball for a 1-1 count for Janae Jefferson. This will be another tight call. Bobian unable to get the inside of the plate. Looked awfully similar to the pitch that struck out Michigan in the top of the 6th inning. But a 2-1 count nonetheless for Janae Jefferson as Bobian winds up. Oh, a great catch by Tara Blanco. Looked like it would skid past her glove, but she's able to snag it off the dirt and beat Jefferson to the bag for out number 1. Athletic play by Tara Blanco to start off the bottom of the 6th inning. Next up to bat for the Longhorns is Kiadra Hyder. Hyder is the junior from Nacogdoches, Texas. And she comes into this at bat 0 for 2 on the day, coming in 185 as an average. She will check her swing, but get called for a strike. So 0 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bobian towing the pitching rubber. She winds up, and Hyder gets a bunt down, and Blanco unable to make the catch at first. Hyder will be able to take second base. Tara Blanco unable to make the catch. Bobian's pitch throw over to Blanco a little bit wild. And And so now Taylor Ellsworth up to bat. She is the Longhorn catcher. Rather, the error was not made by Bobian. It was made by the third baseman, Alex Subchek, on the throw across the diamond to Blanco. This will be ball number 1 to Taylor Ellsworth for Bobian. As the Longhorns now have a runner on second, Janae Jefferson, able to round first on the misplayed bunt. It's going to be ball number 2 now to Taylor Ellsworth. It's a 2-0 count for her. 1 out so far in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Wolverines. A couple Texas fans watching from over the left field wall. Bobian a little high for ball number 3. Not quite able to get anything working in this particular at-bat. Taylor Ellsworth, the batter for the Longhorns, who on Friday night had the monster 3-run shot over the left field wall. The only 3 runs scored of the game via her home run. And that was enough to give the Longhorns a 3-0 win over the Michigan Wolverines on Friday night. Bobian will get the inside of the plate this pitch for strike number 1. As Megan Bobian winds up and will get the inside of the plate again for strike number 2. So a full count now for Taylor Ellsworth, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on second for the Longhorns, Janae Jefferson, the talented freshman out of Humble, Texas. She reached base safely in her first 9 games and hit safely in her first 8, all freshman records. And able to get a bunt down that Blanco tries to go get. Canfield heads to first base. Blanco's tossed to her, not in time, as Ellsworth beats the throw. So now the Longhorns man first and third base with 1 out rather. And Paige Von Sprecken will head into the batter's box. The one coach for the Wolverines heads into the circle. They're going to sub out Ellsworth with a pinch runner. It's going to be Becca Alcozer, the junior from Belton, Texas. Just up the road about an hour and a half-ish from Austin, Texas. So Alcozer manning first and Jefferson manning third. Jefferson's a speedy player. Seems like the officials are going to talk something over for a quick minute. They all come together. So play is about to resume as Von Sprecken steps into the batter's box. It is Becca Alcozer at first, and take that back. It is not Janae Jefferson at second base. My apologies. That is going to be Kiadra Hyder, number 10. I apologize for that confusion. Paige Von Sprecken takes strike number 1. One out here in the bottom of the 6th. A high ball. Megan Bobian trying to navigate another tough situation with a runner on third and only 1 out. The count is 1-1 for Paige Von Sprecken. As Bobian winds up and delivers strike number 2 over the plate. Von Sprecken decides against swinging, and she will be caught looking for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. As Bobian, it's a foul tip off the bat of Von Sprecken. No change to the count right now. So Bobian will wind up, and it'll be another foul tip off the top of the bat of Von Sprecken behind home plate. Count still at 1-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Becca Alcozer on first base and Kiadra Hyder on third. It's going to be a 4-0 lead right now for the Michigan Wolverines. As Von Sprecken is caught swinging and missing again, that is going to be a big play by Megan Bobian to get Von Sprecken's second strikeout of the game. That'll be the fifth strikeout of the game for Megan Bobian, as that'll be out number 2 of the inning, giving the Wolverines a little bit of flexibility as MK Tedder heads back to the batter's box. They need 1 out to get out of this inning and into the 7th. Alexander does a great job stopping a pitch into the dirt from getting past there, so the runners will hold. MK Tedder takes ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. MK Tedder's 0-1 on the afternoon so far. She comes into this at bat at 2:14. She did walk earlier as well. She will take a strike on the inside of the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike for MK Tedder, the freshman from Hoover, Alabama. And Megan Bobian will wind up and deliver. Got the outside of the plate for strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Megan Bobian trying to get herself back to the dugout without allowing a run. And she gets her swinging for strike 3. Bobian gives a little hop of excitement. Back-to-back strikeouts to finish off the 6th inning. The Longhorns failed to score a run, again with a runner on third. So 1 inning to play here in Austin, Texas. Wolverines lead things 4-0 in their final game of the Texas Invitational. The Bats came alive in the 2nd inning, put up 4 runs, and that has held up so far as we head into the 7th inning. First up to bat for the Wolverines is going to be Natalia Rodriguez, and then it'll be the top of the order again, Faith Canfield and Natalie Piers. Still pitching for the Longhorns is Paige Von Sprecken as we head into the 7th inning. So the Longhorns haven't had much success bringing runs in. They have had some opportunities in the last couple innings, but they have failed to capitalize on those opportunities, much like Michigan in the early part of this tournament. Michigan put up 11 runs in their 2nd game yesterday against Wichita State, and it looks like some of that offensive ability is carried into this game, scoring 4 runs in the 2nd. Only 2 runs scored in their opening game against Virginia Tech prior to. They went both the Texas and 2nd Virginia Tech game without scoring any runs at all. So the Longhorns will need to hold the Michigan offense scoreless to give themselves the best opportunity in the bottom of the inning. Things are tight right now. So Longhorns not much room for error here in the top of the 7th inning as Natalia Rodriguez heads to the batter's box, left-handed batter for the Wolverines. Natalia Rodriguez, a freshman from Claremont, Florida, the shortstop for the Wolverines. Takes a strike on the opening pitch. 0 balls, 1 strike. And Von Sprecken winds up, and an attempted bunt will result in a foul ball for strike number 2. So 0 balls and 2 strikes now for Natalia Rodriguez. So this is going to be Von Sprecken towing up the pitching rubber. She has 2 strikes on Rodriguez at the moment. And there'll be another foul ball into the first base stands. And Von Sprecken winds up and will give a ball just outside. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 0 for 1 on the afternoon. She comes into this at bat at 227. So Rodriguez waits patiently and will swing at this pitch, foul it back behind home plate into the netting. 1 ball and 2 strikes remains the count, as she is the first batter of the 7th inning with a Michigan lead at 4-2-0. 64 degrees Fahrenheit here in Austin, Texas. Finally some sunshine and clear skies for a long weekend of clouds, fog, mist, and rain, along with a couple thunderstorms. Rodriguez makes contact with this pitch. Slack tosses it out to Shuttle at first base, and the throw is in time for out number 1 of the inning. Longhorns get their first out, and next up to bat for the Wolverines is going to be Faith Canfield, the junior from Garden Grove, California. Canfield's average stands at 277 right now. She has 1 run and 1 RBI so far today. So Faith Canfield, the top of the Michigan order, takes ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out in top of the 7th inning for Faith Canfield and the Michigan Wolverines. She will take strike number 1 on the inside of the plate. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out for Canfield. Faith Canfield, number 25, the second baseman for the Wolverines, will swing at this pitch. Ground out to Janae Jefferson, who flicks it over to Mallory Shuttle for out number 2. Next up to bat for the Wolverines is going to be Natalie Peters. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Peters, the 3rd Wolverine batter of the inning. Von Sprecken will toss the ball into her glove a couple times. Get ready. Bob up and down. She gets the signal from her catcher. She will wind up and deliver a low ball for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. The top of the 7th inning for Natalie Peters. And Von Sprecken will go a little bit high for ball number 2 now. It's going to be Peters with a 2-0 count. Gets a bunt down. Von Sprecken collects it and gets it to Shuttle in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for the Texas Longhorns. They will need to put up at least 4 runs to keep this game going. And Megan Bobian will do everything in her power to assure that that does not happen. Bobian about as good as it gets from the pitching standpoint. A .7 ERA right now on the season. Her stats through today's game are 6 innings pitched, 4 hits given up, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 23 batters faced. Her pitch count stands at 95 as she heads into the bottom of the 7th inning, looking to preserve her team's 4-0 lead. The home team fans, the Longhorns, try to give some energy for their team. The Texas fight song comes over the speakers. The Longhorns in their gray jerseys with burnt orange socks and the burnt orange numbers. The Wolverines in their maize jerseys with white pants and blue socks. As an infield meeting in the pitcher circle takes place. We'll offer their encouragement to Beaubien. As the Wolverines are 3 outs away from finishing this game up and heading back to Michigan with a 3-2 record in the Texas Invitational, looking to beat the host team, the Texas Longhorns, here in Austin, Texas. So they get the all clear for the go-ahead to start the bottom of the 7th inning. And Megan Beaubien, deliver pitch number 1, is fouled off the top of the bat of Caitlin Slack, the Longhorn batter. Slack is 1 for 2 this afternoon. Comes into this at bat at 250. Caitlin Slack, the sophomore from Liberty, Texas, the shortstop, made a number of great plays this afternoon. She did make one costly missed catch just outside of her reach. It allowed some runs to come in. The ball got over her glove. She will foul off another pitch, so 0 balls and 2 strikes now for Slack. Beaubien looks to attack this 0-2 count. Beaubien will wind up and almost gets the outside of the plate. Unable to do so, however, and will be ball number 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Megan Beaubien back on the rubber, winds up, and Slack fouls this one hard into the netting along the first base line. Very hard hit, foul ball. Beaubien winds up, and it'll be a high ball. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now for Caitlin Slack. Looking to get a Longhorn rally going. Beaubien winds up, and Slack will ground this to shortstop Natalia Rodriguez. Tara Blanco stretches for the catch, out number 1. Wolverines have 2 outs to go in the bottom of the 7th inning. Next up to bat for the Longhorns is left fielder Caitlin Washington for the Longhorns. Caitlin Washington is the sophomore from Humboldt, Texas. She is 0 for 2 on the afternoon. She takes a low ball for ball number 1. Beaubien winds up, and it'll be a foul ball into the dirt for Caitlin Washington. So 1-1 count now with 1 out at the bottom of the inning. As Washington again fouls this one back behind the catcher. So now a 1-2 count for her, as there's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's going to be Megan Beaubien trying to finish her second batter off. She does so and gets her swinging and missing for strikeout number 7 of the afternoon for Megan Beaubien. 1 out to go for the Wolverines as they lead this 4-0. Mallory Schottel, the sophomore first baseman, up to bat. Beaubien going to be looking to finish things up here. Mallory Schottel, sophomore from Salado, Texas. Swings and misses on the first pitch of the at-bat for strike number 1. Shuttle back into the batter's box. And Bobian close, but unable to get the strike. So 1-1 count now for Mallory Shuttle. Bobian gets Shuttle swinging and missing again, so that'll be strike number 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bobian is 1 strike away from finishing this complete game and moving the Wolverines to 8-6 on the season. It's going to be an easy ground out to Tara Blanco, and that'll do it. The Michigan Wolverines win in Austin, Texas against the Texas Longhorns to finish the Texas Invitational. A 4-0 win, all 4 runs coming in the top of the 2nd inning. The Wolverines move to 8-6 now on the season. The Longhorns will fall to 6-8. The Longhorns have a losing record in their tournament that they host. They fall to 2-3. The Wolverines finish at 3-2 in the Texas Invitational. They will head back to Ann Arbor tomorrow, and they will head out to California at the end of the week. It's a big win for freshman pitcher Megan Bobian, who gets the win to move on to 7-2 on the year. Her ERA stands at .68 now. She went 7 innings pitched complete game, 4 hits allowed, 1 walk given up, 7 strikeouts, some key ones in tight situations as the Wolverines look to carry on some offensive momentum throughout the season. My name is Lucas Vargas, and I want to thank you again for tuning into WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan softball here at the Texas Invitational. We will be with you whenever possible throughout the rest of the season. And with that, I want to leave you with a good afternoon and a Go Blue. Signing off from Austin, Texas is Lucas Vargas.